Evening. It's 5:30 p.m. Welcome to this regular meeting of the Fargo Board of Education. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will now look for approval of our agenda. Robin?
I move approval of the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion from Robin and a second from Ally. Any discussion? No? Okay, all in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposition, same sign? All right, next we move to the recognition of the audience, and we don't have anyone signed up to speak this evening, so we're going to move to our reports. We do not have an FEA report, so we're going to move right to Robin with our legislative update.
Okay, I'll try to make this more brief than I did at the last meeting. I want to remind everybody, we've had a lot of, today was a tough day. We've had a lot of wins and influence on a lot of bills that don't garner as much public attention and influence. Both of our board and our administration has, so don't beat yourself up too much. Today on the floor, the 1475, the Universal School Meals bill that we supported, failed. And I did send an email and thank everybody in the Fargo area that supported it, as well as, of course, those that opposed it. But I only thank those that supported it. So again, we supported Universal School Meals. Those locals that supported it as well are Conmee, Dobrovich, Foss, Grinberg, Hager, Hanson, Hendricks, McLeod, Schneider, and Swantecht. Those local legislators that did not support it are Steeman, Johnson, Joran Johnson, Wagner, Casper, and Morton. Also, we last week, Senate Bill 2400 for education savings accounts passed in the Senate, 25 to 22. Actually, it was 24 to 23. One of the legislators made a bit of a mistake, but it is that's listed in the journal. Again, and that's much narrower than I think a lot of people thought it might be, so we can do some work on the House side on that. Those that oppose that, and we wanted them to oppose it, locals are Boucher, Braunberger, Hogan, Matherns, and Powers. And those that voted in favor of it locally are Davison, Roars, and Sorvag. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about how consequential our state legislature is, because what they do really affects our school districts. And then before and after that, I'm going to talk to you about a bill that was passed that I want you to think about at the same time. Our legislature affects school funding, and that affects everything we do, but mostly how much we compensate our educators, clearly our curriculum, guns on school property, bathroom construction, religion in schools, which names we use for others, and how our local voters can vote on excess mill levies, caps on our budgets, who can be on the negotiated agreement, how our counselors interact with students, teacher licenses, criminally and financially punishing schools or individuals for items like pronoun use, curriculum use, student surveys, librarians, the list goes on. And of course, this time we are looking at school vouchers or ESAs, or should I say using public dollars for private education choices. So what happens at the legislative level is very consequential for what we do here at the school district level. So I'm going to bring this into a House Bill 1408. And that talks about annual legislative sessions that would begin in 2027. And that passed on the House floor 64 to 26. This type of bill has been brought up several times, but it's always failed until now. And it's likely in response to the term limits that were recently passed at the state level. I personally oppose the term limits because institutional knowledge would be lost, essentially shifting most of the influence to our lobbyists and agencies. It sounds really fun to limit our terms and for our people we disagree with, but there are consequences for doing that. So I want to, the reason I bring this up is I clearly send a lot of emails and updates. Don't laugh, President Christensen. But the reason I do is I want to show how the legislature works and how much, as much history as I can. And my term expires in June of 2026. So if we go to annual sessions, we're going to be that much busier. Yes, they will be condensed. There will be some restructuring on the interim piece, but it is the future makeup of this board and administration is critical. So again, I overshare, but I do that because I want you to have some of that history. And in closing, I had a phone conversation today with Tony Grinberg. He's the county commission chair. We talked about property tax relief and reform. At their meeting a week from today, their body will establish a solid plan regarding property tax relief and reform advocacy. They are not on board with, it sounds like, the 3% cap. So it's common to refine your advocacy strategy once you get past one part of the session. So any questions on any other legislation anybody has for me? No, lots
Ally?
going on.
I think Ally has a
I
question.
don't have a
Sure.
question. I just have a comment, and I just wanted to express gratitude for you, Robin. Not only do you make it easy to understand what's going on, but I very much appreciate your emails and thank you for keeping all of us in this board updated on what's going on. So just my gratitude to you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we move to our administration report from Dr. Gandhi. And in memo number 75, you can find the strategic plan reflections.
Correct. So we do have our strategic plan reflections for February in this memo, so we'll stand for any questions that you may have. Outside of that, we don't have any other administration report. Obviously, this is going to be a busy week. Just want to say congratulations to the board on selecting the finalists for the next leadership. I think we're, as a parent, even though I won't be part of the school system, as an employee, I'm very excited for the future of this district, and I think the board's done a great job with the 3 finalists that they've selected. So looking forward to that. And then if you have any questions on Memo 75, we are here to help answer.
Thanks. Do we have, Greg, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had one point of, or one thing I was wondering for some clarification. It's in a couple spots, but it's in the key highlights on page 3 of the PDF. Item 2, the third bullet point, the Bridges program is demonstrating promising outcomes through successful student completions while continuous monitoring of behavior recidivism, currently at 58%, informs targeted support strategies. And I was just wondering if that 58% recidivism rate is district-wide, or is that specific to the Bridges program?
I don't know if I know the answer to that top of my head. I'm going to look at Bob and Missy to see if they know. If not, we can get it for you. My assumption is that since this was done by Tristan and his team in Strategic Initiative 2, it's going to be district-wide. I know we discussed our recidivism rate today, even at the principals meeting, but I don't know if that 58% is specific to the Bridges program or just overall district rate.
That is my assumption as well, but I will double check and I will get information out.
To clarify, Greg, are you asking, like, if it is specific to the Bridges program, are you asking the students that participated in the Bridges program in lieu of expulsion and then they committed an infraction again?
Well, if it is specific to the Bridges program, I would be curious how that is calculated.
So we'll verify and get you the information for sure, but from what I know of the success rate of our Bridges program for the school year, that 58% would not be accurate.
Yeah, I was hoping that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Okay. We are now at the consent agenda, and I will look for a motion. Nikki?
I move that we accept the consent agenda for tonight.
I'll second.
Thank you. So we have a motion from Nikki and a second from Jason. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposition, same sign? All right, and now that moves us to our first business item, which is our superintendent evaluation. That's memo 79, and that comes from me. So I gathered all of your feedback from the superintendent evaluation, pieced this all together into a summary. I brought this to governance. They approved it and didn't have any feedback for me. So I'm bringing that here all to you, and I will look for a motion. Robin.
I move that the board approve the annual evaluation of the superintendent indicating satisfactory performance and place a copy of the report in the superintendent's personnel file.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Robin and a second from Nikki. Do we have any questions or comments on this evaluation? Okay, well, I will just share out that unanimously the board rated Dr. Gandhi's performance as satisfactory. So we thank you for your continued work, and we look forward to continuing your focus until your time is up with us and wish you the best of luck. So we will now do the roll call.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Holenberger,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Day. Absent, sorry. Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Christensen Meinier.
Yes, motion passes 8-0. Our next business item comes to us in memo number 80, and I'm going to look to Bill to walk us through this one.
Oh, thank you. You have before you a request to approve the first phase of the multi-facility project's guaranteed maximum price. Scope of work for $5.6 million, funding coming from the building fund. As part of your long-range facilities planning, this step assures critical needs in the near term are scheduled to be addressed starting this spring. Also included in this memo is a preliminary rundown of cost estimates for GMP 2. You are only being asked to approve GMP 1 tonight. Representatives of McGough and James Hand are here if you have any questions.
Okay, I'll look for a motion. Jason?
I'll make a motion to approve GMP 1 in the amount of $5,637,252 and authorize McGough Construction to proceed with the work outlined in this phase of the multi-facility projects.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Jason and a second from Greg. Do we have any questions or discussion on this item? Anyone? Yes, Greg?
I think it's maybe worth mentioning that this is really the culmination of work that this board and administration has been kind of doing for a while, and it was really, we more or less approved it as far as the budget months and months ago, and this is just kind of like, here's what we're doing with the budget that we approved, and James and his team kind of worked to make sure this is what we should use that money for.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, thank you to everyone who put this all together, and it's time for the roll call.
Holenberger,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Christensen Meinier.
Yes, motion passes 8-0. All right, now we are moving into our reports. Anne Marie, do you have a superintendent search update for us?
I'm sure you guys are all ready, but just in case you're not and have any questions, we can go over it. We will see you here tomorrow morning. Your first interview will start at 8:15. We will need to go into your usual meeting. So make sure you're here at 7:50 so everybody can have their beverages ready. You have all your writing utensils, you know which questions you're going to ask, all of that, because we'll start right away at 8:15. Tomorrow you have Mr. Vincent Williams. Wednesday, you have Dr. Corey Steiner, and Thursday, you have Dr. Robert Leck. We will see you back on Friday at 8:30, where you will make your decision of who to offer contract to. I think you guys should have all the information you need, but if you have any last-minute questions or have any last-minute needs, feel free to let me know.
Great, thanks. That should not be brand new information to anyone sitting up here. Just, and you also stole my president's report, so sorry. It's okay. It's all right, totally fine. Okay, committee liaison and correspondence reports. I am going to, can we start with you, Robin?
Sure, I have nothing to report that I haven't shared already with the board.
Okay, thank you very much. Greg?
I also have nothing to report that hasn't been shared with the board.
Thank you. Melissa?
Yeah, so negotiations met last Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. And although we did make some progress, I don't think it's enough to warrant an executive session to illuminate Robin on what we've been doing. 'Cause nobody else is here that wasn't there before. But really, really grateful for Jackie and Allie's work. They're presenting us with a lot of information so we can make some decisions on the strategy that we approved, I guess, at our last meeting. And then our next negotiations meeting is going to be at on Monday, March 3rd. So Ben Franklin Middle School is my liaison, and they had their musical Cinderella last week, and I can say I have never gone to a show more than once when I didn't actually have a child in it. And this was so good that I went on opening night and then I went on closing night. So there is a crew of everybody was phenomenal, but there's a crew of really, really talented eighth graders, and it's going to be very exciting to see what they do at Trollwood and North as they continue to blossom in their careers. But again, so proud of our kids, and it was a really, really, really good musical.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Kristen?
Nice. Outside of the other meetings we've seen each other at this week, or last 2 weeks, I was asked to speak at Roosevelt Elementary for their Spartan Spotlight assembly. So HMR Roosevelt got together. It was the half day, so they spent half of their half day doing an assembly, and we talked about caring and kindness and inclusion. And so I did a little kindness game, and it was all Valentine's themed, and it was so fun. I just ran around the gym with a microphone talking to the kids, and it was a blast. So that truly lifted my spirits after the long kind of slog we've had in these last couple weeks. So that was so fun. And then another fun thing last week was cultural night at Discovery, and I volunteered for that. And I gotta say, the ancestry technology that our middle schoolers have access to in the library was very popular amongst the kids that visited and the families. And it was so fun watching all the dancers and seeing everybody in their costumes and watching the students get to perform their dances and songs and things, and the most serious middle school rock band I've ever seen in my life. They were great. We called for an encore. Anyway, so that's it.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Allie?
Yes, so we wrapped up calendar committee with Bob and team, and I'm very excited about where our calendar is going to be going in 2027. I also had the opportunity to attend our district engagement committee meeting. I'm going to move this away from my face because it's really loud. Sorry. And it was a wonderful format. I actually shared this with Dr. Gandhi after the meeting too, so they broke out and they used the different rooms that are available in Teams and kind of had small group sessions with those from the district engagement committee, and then I was able to kind of bounce back and forth between all of the different rooms. So there was a room focused on EBR, there was a room focused on the cell phone policies, and then there was a one focused on, help me, Missy. The vital survey. Thank you. I was like, I knew I was going to forget the name of the survey. I was like, it was the survey data, but I was like, I knew there was a name to it. So thank you. And he had somebody from cabinet leading each one of those rooms, and it was really great. There was a lot of great staff discussion. A lot of couple like, hey, let's follow up with this later. So I actually suggested that utilizing that same format for like our state of the schools and stuff like that, and utilizing that Teams technology to engage parents, because being the official chauffeur carpool master that I am, I feel like a lot of parents are in that same boat. And so if you're not able to make it to the state of the schools, you can utilize and still join and have a robust discussion and be engaged. And be able to choose which topic you'd like to attend to. So great work there to Dr. Gandhi and the entire cabinet team for that great conversation with our staff. And that's all I have to report, I think.
Hey, thank you. Jason?
Nothing to report.
Okay, Nikki?
Thank you. Communications, engagement, and advocacy met February 14th, and the most of our meeting was spent getting a report from our consulting firm, Confluence, about what they're learning about the various neighborhoods that could potentially be impacted with the long-term plan. Yeah, that was probably the majority of that meeting. And then we figured out which board members will attend or committee members will attend upcoming district meetings. On the 18th and 19th of February, I was in Bismarck. I attended the first local government capital connection, and so was able to meet with several of our legislators, visit the Capitol, had an opportunity to listen and ask questions. 19th, we had negotiations, and this week we will be busy with interviews. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. And so for my president's report, I would just reiterate what Anne Marie said about our schedule. Please review the email that she sent out that has information over the next 4 days for us. It'd be really helpful for you to be familiar with all of that as we proceed with our interviews. And I'll see y'all at 7:50 tomorrow morning in this space. And we will not be going into an executive session this evening. Okay, so our next regular meeting will take place on March 11th. It is 5:51 p.m. and we are adjourned.